If there's one thing I know for sure, it's that I know nothing. Podcast with your hosts, Andy and Ethan.
What's going on, guys? All right, let's get into it, dude. We're gonna talk about what happened this past weekend. Huge weekend. I want to get into the PFL just for a second.
Yeah, dude. So
I couldn't even hold it for a second.
I know you couldn't even hold it for a second, bro.
I couldn't even hold it for a second.
The
PFL. Hey, you get what you pay for. Fucking Shane Burgos. What was the other one? Aspen Ladd. You know what I mean? Why don't you guys just keep picking up fucking, you know what I mean?
The irony is that
I washed this out, dude.
The irony is that
hilarious.
fucking, like, I was trying to find something to fucking put on while I was getting tattooed on Saturday.
The one disease has jumped over to the PFL.
Yeah, dude. I was trying to find something to put on while I was getting tattooed where I could just have it in the background. So I decided to put I managed to catch the main event of PFL.
Yeah.
Two guys I never heard of. Black guy smashed.
Totally. That's every PFL event you've ever watched.
For the most part, yeah.
Except for Ray Cooper.
I mean, David Branch back in the day. John Fitch.
He's not our original guy, though. He's not. Ray Cooper's the only name they got that they've produced at all.
Gaethje.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. All right,
Yeah.
that's fair.
There you go.
But yeah, anyway, yeah. No, just kidding. We're not talking about the fucking PFL. As I was referred to earlier on a YouTube channel I watched earlier this week, is the Pussy Fuckhead League.
The Pussy Fuckhead League.
Fuckhead. I thought that was hilarious.
Fuckhead League.
I thought that was funny.
Hey, listen, I tell you what though, they fucking got Brendan Loughnane.
Dude, we shit on him. We shit on him as a gag. They got good fighters and shit. It's a running gag of this show. If you haven't picked up on that, I don't know what to tell you, but we have a running gag. We shit on PFL, we shit on Matt Hughes, and we shit on fucking a couple of other things, but we just do. All right. Sorry if you don't like it, fucking tune out, but that's just us. So anyway,
it's a miracle we haven't had like some fucking like PFL stand just fucking light us up somewhere,
because there are none, and their Facebook page is 137 likes. So that's it. Their last post they made, literally, I follow them on the MMA for Marks page. Okay, so that's the only social media I get on is MMA for Marks. Yeah. I follow that, and I see when the PFL post stuff, dude, and it is I posted in the group. I take screenshots because it is incredible for a organization that's paying guys millions upon millions.
The number 3 USA organization
broadcast deal, dude. Their fucking social media is,
you know something? I can't even call them.
Numbers are impressive by how low they are.
I was gonna say, you know, you can't even call them the number 3 promotion. But you would think like
there's no way you could call them the number 3.
Bro, Invicta FC, the women's promotion is
when
bigger.
Sophie from down the street is getting more hits and likes on her daily posts about nothing than you are when you're posting fucking
former UFC fighters, guys that'll eventually end up
knocking
in the UFC.
Each other out. Like, you're doing something wrong. So
Dana White Slap League is bigger than PFL.
Yeah, and not by much though. Let's be honest. Like, it's tiny bit.
Bigger is bigger.
I mean, honestly, I don't know if it is, because we talk about the PFL more than we talk about that shit. I don't even know where it's at. Like, I know that PFL's on ESPN. I don't look it up because I don't care or want to even tell anyone. But I don't know legitimately where the power slap thing is now, and that makes me happy. So,
well, they said it was gonna be in fucking Abu Dhabi.
No, I mean, like, how you even watch it. It's on some fucking free to whatever app. Like it's on something I've never heard of, and it's just awesome. I don't care to learn. You know what I mean? I'm fine if I never know.
Bro, I'm waiting for him to be like, oh, we're going to Truth Social.
Dude, I'm waiting for him to be like, there was an accident. All the athletes actually died in a plane crash. Sorry about that. Massive insurance payout for us, though. We're not going to go ahead and get anybody else. Like, if they dude, what if Dana White, Leonard Skinner's that whole situations and just mountain crashed him into the Alps or something? You know what I mean? Like, and then he took out like policies on all of them. That's what I would do if I was
find
him.
big brolic fucking Indian fellows to slap each other for even less money.
Bro, they're not doing it. They're not doing it, dude. They're not gonna do that. Anyway, all right, let's move on from the
let's get to the real breakdown.
Let's get to the real breakdown, dude. The real breakdown happened over.
I meant to ask you before we get started on the breakdown, how far are we going in this? Because I caught, believe it or not,
same thing as always. Main card. We'll talk about one or two prelims because they're worth mentioning. Main card. We break down every fight. This is the run. Main card. We break down every fight. Prelims. We go through like for 30 seconds a piece, if that. You know what I mean? Unless there's something interesting. Honest to God, I caught the majority, and I don't do this because I normally skip, like you said, because we only cover the main card. But because there were so many finishes and so many fights on, there were a couple fights on the prelims that specifically made note. Like, I actually watched the majority of this fucking card, and we'll talk about it later when we do. Yeah, we'll get into it. We got a lot to talk about. We'll talk about the UFC Fight Night, Holloway versus Allen. We're going to talk about upcoming Pavlovich versus Blades, and then we're going to jump into a little bit of news, and then we'll hop off. So
yeah, we can go to bed.
Yes,
sorry.
Sir. All right,
midnight by me, guys. I was recording this.
Yeah, it's all good. Me too. Let's go ahead and jump into this. So we got Holloway versus Arnold Allen. And
tremendous
fight. It is exactly what I thought. Yeah, I think you pretty much. I know you picked Allen, right? You picked Allen for the upset.
Yeah,
my
heart picked Allen. My brain always knew Max Holloway. I will say, I don't know why the judges had this so far apart. I had it 49-48 Holloway.
Well, that's because judges smoke crack, and I thought
Allen won round 2, not by much, but I think he won round 2, and he certainly won round 5. So, and then Holloway clearly won the other 3 rounds. So I thought it was a very easy decision, 49-48. I mean, if
Chris Lee and Sal D'Amato both gave it to Holloway 49-46.
I know.
And Travis Busicki was the only guy who did 48-47. I mean, listen. It's one of these things where Holloway was so dominating. I kind of went back and watched the second half of the fight again because I kind of didn't pay attention that much in the first half. But I definitely there was something they said at the end of the fight that kind of made me go back and watch it again. The commentators were saying, look, it doesn't seem like, it doesn't seem like it was that close of a fight because of how dominating Holloway's style is and stuff. And
dude, he hit over. I guess I'll agree with, he hit over 3,000 significant strikes in his career.
Yeah,
over 1,000 strikes ahead of second place. Yeah, that is fucking bonkers. Straight bonkers.
My take on the fight is Allen is, Allen's a young dog. He's coming up in the division, and he's and I said this last week. He's about to hit a brick wall, and that wall is Max Holloway.
Yeah,
and a lot of guys in the division have hit it. And until Max gets to that point to where he starts letting guys through the gate, it's just
not going
how
to.
It's gonna be, dude.
He's not going to.
When Max is fucking, and you saw him during the walkout. I mean, there was no games to be playing.
No,
Max was all business.
Max
has been all business, dude.
He is betting the farm. He is betting the farm.
Arnold Allen
on Yair.
That could have been a Calvin Kattar situation if Arnold Allen wasn't as, you know what I mean. Now look, I'm gonna say this: as good as Max Holloway was, we learned how good Arnold Allen was.
He can most certainly take that next step.
Good. Yeah,
he can most certainly take that next step.
He's really good. Let me finish my point, but he's really, really fucking good. Like we definitely got we got to see that preview point from him. And I think of anything in that 3rd, 4th, and 5th round, you really got to see okay, this guy's got potential future chops on him. You know what I mean? Like, I think for sure.
Like I said, he won.
Yeah, no. Yeah, he definitely. I think the second round he definitely won, but it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Obviously, Holloway kind of like took maybe second geared that round or whatever. But
Yeah.
this is the same thing, and I think we all kind of get this thing where you first start watching a Holloway fight, and you're just like, man, Max is just what is he doing? Guys, you got to remember, third, fourth, fifth round, that's fucking Holloway's.
Oh yeah, he's just like, all right, enough bullshitting. Enough bullshitting. Let's use more footwork. Let's evade. Let's be quicker. And honestly, what helped Arnold Allen is because of the fact he is so young. He is so fast. He does have power. He earned Max's respect. He didn't go in there fucking trying to Calvin Cater him. He could have, like you said, it could have ended up that way. But I think Arnold Allen earned enough respect from him in the opening rounds to fucking stemmy that.
And his past, his ability, his skills. I agree. I think Max Holloway clearly went in first round. Like, I'm not gonna open up and go crazy on this guy.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's Max Holloway's never usually that guy to go fucking bull from, like, he always climbs the hill, you know what I mean? And by the end, he's sprinting. But I definitely think there was a lot of respect shown to Arnold Allen throughout the fight, which I mean, hey, the guy can turn your lights out, you know what I mean? So it's one of those things. He'll be back. You know what I mean? He'll definitely bounce back. I think it's one of those fights where it's good for him to have. He didn't take too much damage.
No.
You know what I mean? It's early enough in his career too. I could see him fighting again and beating Max in the future. Maybe a year or two down the road.
He's gonna want Max to have that belt. That'll be I think that'll be it when Max gets the belt again. If he does, like I said, he's betting all the farm on fucking Yair coming up against Volk. And I laughed at Volk's take. Volk is like, dude, quit beating my contenders. He's like, get the fuck out of my division and quit beating my contenders.
Volk, honestly, dude, I think Volk, if he loses, he should just go up to 155 and just start beating the fuck out of everybody up there. If he did that to Islam, if he was able to do that with Islam, he'll handle a lot of guys in the top 10.
He can stand. He's just short. That's the problem.
Short. That's okay. BJ was short.
It's the same thing with
GSP,
Cejudo.
BJ. Yeah, Cejudo. A lot of those guys. That's not a big deal.
Yeah, and
honestly, if you look statistically, I don't remember who did this stat. Might have been like Tapology or somebody, but somebody did a stat where it basically was determined, like, in MMA fights, the taller fighter has the disadvantage, like, statistically, like 80% of the time. Like, it's ridiculous. Yeah. Like, the only way even with reach, because so many fighters
don't use it.
They don't use it. Exactly. Kickboxers are a different story. Kickboxers who are taller, generally a fucking problem.
Your Izzy's and your Alex's, your Pereira's.
Alex Pereira is very tall. He's a very tall guy. Yeah. We'll talk a little bit about him too at the end.
Sure.
But Holloway, 149 total strikes. To Arnold's 80, you know what I mean? And it was pretty bad.
It was clear he won. It was clear he won, but people and the judges in particular should have given Arnold Allen a little bit more credit. That's why I said, like, I'm going with my heart. My heart said Arnold Allen because I saw everything that we saw in that fight. I knew he had in him and he showed it. But as you counterpointed, Max is a fucking brick wall in that division, and he's clear and above the best person that's not named Alexander Volkanovski. I really personally, not just because I want to see Volk move to 55 and I want Holloway getting the shot. I really want to see that that Max and Yair match. That'll be a fucking banger in its own right. And so
you know what I think is really going to happen? I think Volk will beat Yair, and I think that Max and Yair will have a
number one contender fight.
Have a number one contenders fight or something like that.
Well, not really, because then Yair just lost again.
It'll be for Max. It'll be a number one for Max, and then it'll be a hold position thing for Yair.
But like I said last week, dude, like, I don't want to see Volk. I understand like the appeals there. I understand how great he is. I get tired of seeing all these repeat fights. Once you get a trilogy, I'm good. I don't need any more. I don't need 4s. I don't need 5s. You don't need any of that.
I'm okay with it just simply because it's not like every fight that they've had has been very different. It's not traditional.
It's still entertaining as fuck. They're both. That's what sells it.
You know what it is? It's like fucking it's like Gray Maynard, Frankie Edgar, if it just kept going. You know what I mean? That's what it feels like, because every one of those fights were absolutely incredible. You know what I mean? Like, I still remember
the very first UFC fight that I ever saw was Gray and Frankie too.
What
was the very first,
bro?
very
Now
first
that's an
UFC
introduction
fight.
into the fucking sport.
That's the very first fight I ever saw at a Buffalo Wild Wings in
Yeah.
2010, I believe it was.
If you want to get someone hooked, be like, hey, you should watch this fight.
And I would go every month. There was a UFC pay-per-view. I would go to the same Buffalo Wild Wings. It's not there anymore, but it was like literally 10 minutes from the house that I live in now. It was, oh man, I got hooked. It was like,
yeah.
I don't remember the sequence, but it's like I remember in like, I don't know how many months, like 3, 4 months, 3, 4, 5 months, I saw fucking Rashad. I saw, like I said, I saw Edgar Maynard. I saw Rashad Evans fight. I saw Rampage Jackson fight, and I saw Anderson Silva fight in that like span of like 3 to 5 months. What?
That's a pretty fucking impressive sweep.
I mean, goddamn, dude.
That's awesome,
talk about
dude.
2010s, early 2000s UFC.
That's crazy. 2010 is when I believe 2010 is when I saw Chuck Liddell and Frankie Edgar, and who else was it? Chuck Liddell played. I don't think I've ever told this story on the podcast. Chuck Liddell played a mount character. He played basically a bad actor during mount training, which is basically like close quarter combat training for the Calf Scouts out there in Fort Hood. And I was doing training with him. Yeah. And him, Frankie Edgar, they were doing Fight for the Troops at Fort Hood. They were doing it like on West Fort Hood. They had like a stadium facility or whatever. And so they were doing it there. Yeah. And so as a part, the fighters all came out the week before. UFC brought them all out, and they were like going out to like training events and meeting the soldiers and stuff. So anyway, I'm coming back from getting some stuff with my NCO, with my platoon sergeant at the time, basically. And I would come down this road, Sergeant Mac, and I'm looking, and I swear I see fucking Frankie Edgar, fucking what's his name? Fucking guy who never got the shot. Always won, but never got the shot. WSOF. John Fitch, still in the UFC at the time. Oh damn, wow. I can't remember any names right now. I swear to God.
Any fights?
Can't remember any fights or anything right now. Chuck Liddell. There was a couple other guys, who were on the roster back then. I want to say Alexander Houston. You remember him? Alexander Houston. He was there.
I have the name. Yep.
Yeah, he was a destroyer back in the day. And it was that other dude, a curly headed fuck. Everybody, Josh.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right. No. He was the original curly headed fuck. Everyone hated me. He fought GSP, and GSP rearranged his eyeball. Josh
Koscheck.
Josh Koscheck was there. And so they were
really,
all
that's
there.
Interesting, because Koscheck came over with the merger. He came over with the Strikeforce merger.
No, he didn't. He was on Tough.
Oh no, never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind.
He was on Tough season 1.
I don't know why I was thinking about Woodley. I guess because I'm thinking about Woodley fucking knocking Koscheck's block off.
Yeah, probably. That was a good knockout. Everybody couldn't wait.
That's what put Tyson Fury. Wow, Tyson Woodley on the map.
You're really Tyrone Woodley. Really.
Tyson Woodley. Jesus Christ.
Tyson Woodley, bro.
Did you smoke or did I smoke before the
podcast?
For
real. Tyson Woodley would be scary, bro. You know what I mean? Like, imagine like a guy like Woodley at that weight with Tyson's boxing ability. Oof.
Tyrone Fury. Bro.
Yes, dude. We need to make Tyrone Fury fucking shirts.
Black Tyson Fury, fat Tyrone Woodley.
We could what we do is we take Tyson Fury and Tyrone Woodley, and we get an AI to merge them, and then we fucking make that into a fictitious character.
Bro, imagine if Tyrone Woodley had Tyson Fury's shit talk in the UFC.
Oh, bro. Imagine if Tyron Woodley looks exactly like he looks, and he gets on the mic and he just starts, "Oi, you fucking dope, you fucking bossa.
Fucking
You're dossers." Yeah, that'd be hilarious.
Bro, that would be great. Hey, Buppy. Hey,
buddy. Hi. Are you looking the bow? Look the bow. What's going on? All right, where was I at? I gotta remember where Arnold Allen. All right. You got any more on that before we move on?
No, it was a really good fight. Highly recommend people go back and watch that fight. And like you said, this is gonna be it's just a bump in the road for Arnold Allen. This is gonna be something that's gonna make him 100% better. He doesn't lose any shine really whatsoever because of this loss. Truth be told, if I'm being honest, I mean, even if you go to the rankings, where we at? That was a 45 fight. Yeah, he didn't even move, honestly. So that'll be solid.
All right.
You know something? Actually, if I saw correctly, did I see that Holloway called out Korean Zombie for his next fight?
Did he really?
I think I saw
that.
something about that he called out Korean Zombie.
I didn't see that.
I think I saw something that was along those lines. I'm gonna Google it really quick.
Google it really quick.
Max Holloway Korean Zombie. Yep. 2 days ago, Korean Zombie responds to Max Holloway challenge. He called him out for his next fight because I mean he's stuck.
That's wild.
That'll be a banger.
That will be a banger.
That'll be a
they fought before, haven't they? They've never fought before.
I don't know.
Pretty sure they have.
I mean, I looked up.
Should have came up when you looked it up. It would have came up. So no, maybe not.
No.
Okay, that's very interesting. Ooh, that's very interesting.
That'll be a great fight. That's a good one to headline Busan or Seoul if they go back.
If they go back. Okay, well, co-main event in the featherweight division, Edson Barbosa versus Billy Quarantillo. And let me tell you something.
Things didn't look that bad for Billy until they were bad.
I called this. I didn't call the wheel kick. I said wheel kick, but I
said round kick.
You said round kick. I called it that Barbosa.
I was wrong, but I was closer.
Cold this dude. He was He put this guy out so hard. He went out and he was just like, "What happened? What's up?"
He need him. He went fucking face first, and then he fucking followed up with one stiff punch. Oh shit,
bro! That dude was gone. That dude was gone. That was such a beautiful fucking knockout,
bro. I mean, the ref, mama.
If you took it, like Edson Barbosa definitely belongs in the Hall of Fame. If you look at some of these, there's some YouTube compilations that I'm sure will get taken down by the UFC shortly, but there's some YouTube compilations of his knockouts, dude. And I mean, they are just a work.
Got a highlight reel.
Art. No, it's not a highlight reel. It's a fucking master. It's a work of art, bro. It's an art reel. It's insane. Like you literally could show students in a martial arts class, in a taekwondo class, Muay Thai class, the technique in this man's ability is unmeasured across the board of MMA.
You talk about crisp and sharp.
Okay, it's not unmeasured. MVP though, MVP Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. That's the level that he's throwing this shit at. When he knocked out Terry Edom, I still feel it, dude. Like, God,
everybody remembers the wheel kick.
Shut his ass off. He shut him off.
And dude, you talk about the best body, he might have the best body in the UFC. That man was
bodied up,
shredded,
dude. Hey, he's on a little bit of that acai, right?
Bro, chiseled, chiseled out of granite. All he needed is the tiny microcock, and he looked like a brown Greek god.
He's literally the featherweight version of Yoel. He's literally the featherweight version of Yoel. Like he's just like Yoel.
Get Jesus!
You know Jesus. I love Yoel. Dude,
can't wait to see Yoel fight again.
So fucking good
in a month or so.
I was watching the Masvidal with on JRE talk about training with him, and he was saying how he was like, "Man, I just fucking hated going with this dude because he's a rock, like hitting him, kicking him. He's just so." He said, "I've never felt anyone so dense."
Imagine if you ran full speed at Yoel Romero, you would bounce back 5 feet and have a concussion.
And it was just right. No, totally. I mean, he's just like this Cuban concrete fucking missile. You know what I mean?
Oh, dude.
Talking about like when he went on, if you've never seen Yoel Romero on the Joe Rogan experience with Joey Diaz being the translator.
Yeah.
Because he needs a lot of help when they're
Yeah.
having so much conversation. Talk for like 2.5, 3 hours.
Yeah.
The whole podcast is worth like watching. It's or
Yeah.
listening to. It's so, but you really need to watch it because Yoel explains a lot about his childhood and like where he comes from and like I turn you to a machine. I turn you to a machine, bro. He fucking goes off.
Bro, I tell people all the time, the best
Cuba,
whether it's like sports,
and he doesn't dog it either,
yeah.
like you would think.
No,
you know
bro.
what I mean? He talks about how like anyway.
I always say, bro, the best people that come out of anything in life, right? Anything that's like significant, like art, music, fighting, sports, they don't come from good, happy places. They come from fucking despair and fucking agony and fucking pain and shit and misery.
I love you.
And bro, a lot of them, most of them,
you say this to me,
bro. A lot of people end up really positive.
Him, bro.
On top of that, they end up being, for the most part, really positive people because of the fact that they came from nothing when the average man.
But when him and Bisbee were going after it, he fucking ripped up that picture of like the queen or whatever.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Fucking poured that fucking alcohol and started dancing on a flag in like Havana. It was fucking great. He was dressed out in white. It was fucking. That was such a good piece, a good promo,
bro. If he did that,
I really think
if Michael Bisping was in Cuba and he did that in Cuba, Michael Bisping would just turn around and walk away.
No, bro. Michael Bisping would have been stabbed 30 fucking times by like fucking
stepped to Yoel. Yeah, he would.
By 10, 15 Cubans, bro.
Oh yeah, he would be.
He would have been shanked to death. Yeah,
we would never see him again.
Never see him again. Yeah. Anyway, Edson Barbosa, just a fantastic fucking knockout, dude. If you haven't seen that, go back and check that out.
Sure. Let me see. Hold on, real quick. What weight class was that again?
It's featherweight.
So it's 45-2.
Yeah, you need to have this stuff pulled up. He didn't even pull this shit up when I pull the fight up. Pull it up.
No, I did already. He didn't move up. That's crazy.
No, I mean, did they do the rank? Did they update it?
They updated every Tuesday.
And I know. Well, yeah, sure. Yeah, because they're as sure as rain.
Dude, I mean, the people above Dan Ige, okay. He had a quality win in his last fight. Sadiq Youssef is one of those young gunners. You telling me that Edson Barbosa is worse than Bryce Mitchell?
No, but
the flat earther.
But yeah, exactly. I was gonna say he doesn't believe in that. He believes the Earth's round, so that's not as much smoke, you know.
Oh my god.
This is why honestly I hate doing the ranking thing sometimes because it just doesn't make any sense.
I know. Well,
it gives you a good range to look at people, but
yeah,
you know,
I mean, bro, Topuria would be a great next fight. Chikadze would be a great next fight.
I want to see him against Chikadze. Fuck Topuria. Chikadze or Calvin Kattar. I mean, if he's going for another run,
this makes no sense. Calvin Kattar went up one spot, didn't even fight, and he went up one spot. How the fuck did Calvin Kattar go?
He's that good. He's that good from the couch, I guess.
What the fuck? Yeah, you're a great announcer. Here's a spot.
Well, Connor did that shit forever too.
Dude, what are you, Michael Chiesa?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. And what's his face will be okay. You know what I mean? He Billy Quarantillo there, you know, nobody will judge him for getting knocked out by Edson Barbosa. I mean, they'll just be like,
another one to the list.
He did. It would be shocking if he beat him, you know what I mean? So it would have been
it would have been a massive upset.
A feather in his cap, but you know, instead he's on the
Don't have to worry about that.
Don't have to worry about that.
You gotta worry about CT now.
Yeah, worrying about a little bit. Yeah, it was so quick, and I think he'll be all right. You know what I mean? As long as he didn't go as long as he didn't go you know, on a fucking in a bounce house immediately after.
Oh, bro, you know when he got kneed, his fucking brain shot to the roof of his fucking skull.
No, his brain just completely died. It shut off like immediately. Yeah, yunk. All right, moving on. Light heavyweight division. Dustin Jacoby versus Azamat Murzikanov. And let me tell you,
I skipped
that one was not as exciting.
I completely skipped it. I don't know shit.
Yeah, it just
I don't know who won.
Huh?
Who won? I don't even know who
think.
won.
Based off a name, who do you think?
Jacoby.
Really?
He's the bigger name.
But he's not from Russia. So
but is he from Dagestan? Is this guy from Dagestan?
Doesn't matter. Azamat.
Russians now, they're a little vulnerable. You see Piotr Yan, he's a little vulnerable now. So if you're not from Dagestan,
that's a good point. That's true. If you're not from Dagestan, you're not a pure one. I don't know where Azamat's from. Let's assume he's from Dagestan until we don't know he's not. Okay. So he's from Dagestan, and he beat the shit out of Justin Jacoby. No, he didn't actually beat the shit out of him. It was just kind of it was kind of a back and forth a little bit, but it was more like him just grabbing him, and Jacoby really couldn't get any. You didn't watch this one at all?
No, I saw that it went to decision, and I was like, I'm good.
Nice. Well, yeah. So it was just. Although I want to say this, I did. Jacoby did get the total strikes. He got the amount of strikes, but there was just not enough damage there. There was just not enough damage being done.
He probably mounted those strikes when he was on the ground trying to defend.
Yeah, it just wasn't a super exciting fight. I think both of them kind of shit the bed for the position, to be honest. So, like you said, if you want to skip that one, go ahead. And we will as well.
Duly go ahead.
Moving on, light heavy in the light heavyweight division. A upset, in my opinion. Did not think it would go this way. We got Tanner Bowser from old Canada there versus Ion Cutelaba.
I picked Cutelaba.
Mr. Moldova, you did pick Cutelaba. I picked against Mr. Cutelaba, but he found himself a KO, and it was a fantastic.
It was a good one.
He fucking put Bowser out, dude. I was like,
he did.
Yeesh. Whatever he.
You called
antics this time.
You called it a do or die fight.
It was.
That's exactly what
it really was. He treated it, and you notice there was none of the bullshit. There was none of the fucking. There was none of that. It was
at the beginning. He walked up to him in the thing, and he did his fucking little throat slash.
That's right. I forgot he did that. It makes it worse.
He did that. Yep.
I must have missed that for some reason because I definitely would have remembered that and been like, "Oh, fucking die!"
Walk past the center, you're dead.
Not
and it came to fruition. Tanner Bowser.
Something. Hey, I heard something. Maybe Sean can tell us. I heard that YouTube is no longer allowing people to say like basically up to shit. Like you're not allowed to say shit, bitch, shit, fuck, all out the window. Can't say.
No, I've heard you can't say things.
Got to be edited now.
No, I've heard things like R star E, or
that's been for a year and a half now.
I mean, I've said it, and we haven't gotten banned. At least on the anime podcast, I say shit like that all the time.
No, you won't get banned. I'm talking like no monetization, like no, if you're and your video, yeah, you can get pulled. You can get flagged for sensitive language.
Yeah,
on YouTube.
I don't think about fuck, shit, damn, asshole.
Like I listen to other podcasts and they're editing fuck and all that stuff out now. Like they just go, they'll just be like, they'll do a little sound over it, but they're literally editing it.
Yeah, like when I listen to you remember Jim Cornette?
Crazy. Yeah.
I listen to Jim Cornette podcast, and they're most of his episodes aren't censored, but once in a while you'll get one that has like, well, beep, God beep, and because he curses like a sailor.
So weird.
Yeah.
It's so odd.
But then most of his videos are like, well, goddamn, fuck me in the ass with a silver spoon. And nothing. You just hear it through. And I'm like, all right, well, that's what you like, buddy.
You think it'd be a gold spoon that was melted down from a championship belt?
I thought it would be a gold spoon because you stuck in somebody's ass and it went from silver to brown.
Because they shit gold?
Well, sometimes shit can look like gold.
Well, that is that alliteration, the shit gold. But all right. Yeah. So, I mean, if your shit looks like gold, you should go to the hospital like now. You know what I'm saying, though?
You should probably go to the jewelry store first.
Nah, they'll probably call the cops on you. You should go definitely to the hospital. They'll be like, this fucking guy brought us shit. We'll be right there. Hold him.
Dude, I saw somebody when I went to Walmart today. So some fucking kid, he was just like grilled at by a cop. And I'm like, oh, he's going to jail. Nothing happened. I was like, oh, I guess somebody just profiled him.
Who knows?
Spanish kid. There's a black cop though, so can't blame whites.
In this particular instance, we can't. Sorry, whites.
Gotcha.
All right, moving on. In the bantamweight division, we got Pedro Munoz versus Chris Gutierrez, and
This was a great fight.
Great fight, dude.
This was a great fight. I saw this one go to decision, but it was a Pedro Munoz fight, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna watch the Pedro Munoz fight.
I think Gutierrez thought he was gonna come in here and get one on Pedro because he was down 3.
I remember. I forget who was it.
Not gonna happen.
Daniel
Not
Cormier
gonna do it.
He's like, there's so many. There's like a laundry list of guys that fucking the UFC puts against Pedro Munoz, who like thinking like, oh, this will be their star making moment, and Pedro Munoz is like, not today.
He did it for the last 3. He was 3-0. He was 0-3 before this.
Yeah.
So he had to win this fight, and
otherwise, he would have gone to PFL.
Otherwise, he would have gone to the PFL. And he definitely he did more than enough to win the fight. Chris Gutierrez, he put in that work for sure. He came ready to win. I think he knew he was on that 3 fights. Obviously he knew he was on that 3 fight skitter, but he came in with that. Chris Gutierrez,
I mean, it's not like he did terrible. It's not like he was the shit.
No, he didn't do terrible at all. You know what I mean?
He didn't do terrible at all. It was just Pedro Munoz was just on one.
Everything he was doing, Munoz has seen before. You know what I mean? So it was just like he's definitely.
And they had mentioned, the commentary team had mentioned about the footwork, how he's going to use his quickness and his agility and his youth in order to try and stifle fucking Pedro Munoz. And Munoz was up for the task. They had no real issues at any given point in the fight. It was very clear that just that experience and the skill level of Pedro Munoz, because despite that 3 fight skitter, he's still fucking one of the most badass people in the division. You know what I mean? So
I don't know what he does. He's
a gatekeeper at this stage, dude.
Yeah, exactly. I if I'm him, I fight a couple more guys, and then I maybe I do go to the PFL, or maybe I go somewhere else for bigger cash or something like that.
Yeah.
But
I was gonna say you can't put him against Simone and Sonya Dong, because they actually got matched up in a main event.
Well, he's not ranked. I don't.
Munoz is ranked 9.
Pedro
Munoz. You're thinking of Gutierrez.
No,
Pedro Munoz is ranked 9.
Actually, I'm looking at it. He's ranked 13.
Yeah.
I don't know. That is a tough one. I don't know. Because everybody above him, I feel like, can beat him
100%.
Pretty candidly.
Yeah, Cruz already beat him. So, Rafa easily. You don't put Rafa on, especially after his knockout.
I feel like I hate to predict this, but I think that they're gonna put him up against Nurmagomedov.
I was just about to say that.
And
put him against. Hey, you know what you do? Put him against Yanez. That'd be a great fight.
But here's the thing: Nurmagomedov is gonna fight. Is either gonna fight Ricky Simone, Song Yadong, or Pedro Munoz.
Well, like I said,
Dominic Cruz ain't taking that fight, and Rob Font ain't taking that fight.
No, yeah,
and nobody else above them is taking that fight.
Usman is kind of stuck in his own right, because, like I said, they matched Song Yadong, and you saw that, right? They matched Song Yadong and Pedro and Ricky Simone. Yeah, they made that fight official.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they made that fight official.
Ooh, Nurmagomedov must have fucked up, or something wasn't wrong. What's up? Maybe he wanted some time off.
Maybe something with visa. I don't know.
Maybe he'll get fit. Maybe did he just no? Who did he just fight? He just
survey says that
there's 2 Nurmagomedovs in the fucking top 15.
Some guy named Barcelos.
Okay. He maybe they'll have him fight Yanez next, or maybe they'll give him.
No, they're not gonna give Yanez fucking. I mean, it makes sense 11-12, but
yeah, it would.
Nurmagomedov wins that fight. I mean, the only thing I can think of would be fucking Dominic Cruz and Nurmagomedov.
No, that's Dominic Cruz never taking that fight, bro. That ain't happening. Nah,
you're probably right, but
Nurmagomedov, he might take the winner of Ricky Simone and Song Yadong. Maybe that's what they're.
But then that's kind of like a downgrade in essence. When you think about that fighter.
Well, that's why I'm saying.
But it depends how much they want to push.
That's why that's probably not going to happen. That's why I'm saying he's probably going to fight Pedro Munoz, because then that's a name, and then it gets him over. You know what I mean? It gets him. It gets him over into the top 10 for sure.
Yeah, Munoz is definitely the gatekeeper of the division at this stage. If you can Pedro Munoz, you can take that next step up. So,
and he basically just won one to stay the gatekeeper. So, yeah, I don't know. I think, like I said, I don't know. Maybe after fighting Nurmagomedov, if he gets flattened like a pancake, he'll be like, "Fuck this, I'm out. I'm gonna go do something else." And then, I don't know. But I don't know what his contract's looking like either.
Bellator.
All right, moving on. In the lightweight division, we got a old classy Clay Guida versus Rafa Garcia.
You know, I wasn't gonna watch this fight until I saw Clay Guida's bloody face, and I was like, I would love to see Clay Guida get busted up. And boy, did he get busted up.
He did get busted up. Yeah, he got busted up, and yeah, just retire. He took the gloves off at the end and then just started talking about his mom.
So pissed.
Yeah, Dana White got pissed. That was hilarious. I mean, a lot of people were just like, wow, way to cheat, way to, but bro, Clay is like that. He is like that, where he's take off his fucking gloves at the end. He knows what he's doing. He's just like, he's that guy.
You know what it was, though? Because you can't make that joke, especially after, because I do want to talk about Zach Cummins and fucking Ed Herman. You can't do that after they did what they did.
Right. You can't exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like
that was kind of stupid. That was definitely stupid by Clay Guida. I get that's
a Clay Guida move.
It is. I get it's his personality, but
he's kind of weird.
I've learned plenty of times in my life when you say something, there's a time and place to do it.
You surely have, huh?
Life lessons. I continue to fail that life lesson, but goddamn it,
I know say, wait a minute. When did you learn this shit?
Hey, it's a constant reminder, bro. Hey, you want to hear a funny story of time and place? I'll give you a funny story real quick. It happened to me a couple weeks ago at work. No, I'm sorry, a couple days ago at work. Monday, right? We're talking about cruises in my work chat, right? A couple of my coworkers, right? And I'm talking to one of my female coworkers, and she always gets like lit. Like she gets drunk fairly often, like puke drunk, like pass out. Like that's how she does, right? So she's like, "Oh, we're going on a cruise, da da da." I was like, you're probably gonna be like drunk as fuck half the time and like throw up. And she's like, wow, give me more credit than that. Like just joking around. And I was like, all right, but here's what I was trying to write. If there was an over under on you getting sick, I would take the over. So my ass, because I was half asleep at 10 in the morning, missed the S key and put the D key. So the screen said, if there was an over under on you getting dick, I would take the over. And I didn't notice it at all. My coworker got pissed at me, and he's like, dude, like he went off on me like in a DM. And I was like, dude, I was just joking about her getting drunk. What are you talking about? So I hit her up and I was like, did you get offended by my joke? And she's like, oh, it just took me aback because we're on a work chat. And I was like, I was just joking about you being drunk. We talk about this all the time. And she's like, no, you said something sexual. I was like, when did I say something sexual? She's like, well, nobody knows when you say dick. I was like, when the fuck did I say dick? And I went back. This is like 40 minutes later. I go back in the chat and I see what I wrote. And I'm like,
I didn't know.
No! I'm screaming at my computer. And
sure you are.
No,
right.
That is not what I meant. And they're sending me fucking side-eye fucking gifts. And I was like, I'm serious. I'm 100% serious.
Yeah,
time and place.
Me too.
Exactly. I would never fucking say that in a work chat.
That'd be my gift. That'd be my face too.
Yeah.
What the fuck, dude?
Straight up, bro.
You're fucking.
And I was like, fuck. Of course I apologize and shit. I was like, that is not what the fuck I wrote. Meant to write. I'm lucky my coworkers aren't snitches. Otherwise, that would have been a total HR thing.
Bro. Yeah, you just talked about it on the podcast.
Well, because, it's a fun thing. Plus, they don't have my Facebook, so it doesn't matter.
Okay. Fucking. What did you just? Okay. I gotta fucking point this out. You literally just fucking said that you learned when's the right time and place to say something. Then you proceed to tell possibly a really inappropriate story involving a coworker.
I didn't give names. I didn't give names. The pod doesn't know where I work. So there's nothing to really trace.
Oh man. Yeah.
I don't have any of my coworkers on Facebook anyway.
Okay.
So
I just have to point that out. I'd be
listen, like you said, there's a time and place. Talking with my homie on a podcast about a mistake that I made.
Not the time.
I disagree. I think this is a great time to shoot the shit. If we were in a regular fucking podcast that was not
dude,
and I told this joke, you would be like, this is great fucking content. Keep going.
I may have said something like that. That's true. I may say something like that.
Bro.
Okay. I'm going to keep going. I love it. That was just so good, dude. That was so good.
Moving on. Next
that was so good. That is definitely the highlight right there. That's the little fucking that's the clipper. All right. Well, we're in the prelims. You said you want to talk about Zach Cummins versus Ed Herman?
No, well, I want to talk about fuck. This thing fucked me up because it doesn't have the freaking it doesn't have the prelims on on the fucking preview thing.
Nope.
Results. No, it doesn't have the fucking preview.
Here, pull it up. I'm gonna get my dog some food.
God damn it. UFC Holloway. Sorry, guys. This thing doesn't have the prelims. UFC Holloway versus Allen. All right. All right, got it. Okay. So while you give your dog that thing, we go over the prelims really quick. Algeo and Brown was a great fight. And in the submission, worth your time. I wanted to speak about two fights in particular. And another highlight that's worth a damn is Jillian Robertson looked phenomenal against Piera Rodriguez. It was actually, we should talk about that fight last because there's a little bit of controversy. I don't know if you caught that, Andy, but so we'll go with the first fight I wanted to talk about, which was Brandon Royval and Mateus Nicolau. You talk about the knee from freaking from Barboza later on in the night. The knee that fucking Royval hit fucking Nicolau with, oh, that was fucking tremendous in its own right, dude. And I laughed.
Performance of the night.
They got performance of the night. The reason why is because Dana White, right? So afterwards, when they did like the media interview or whatever, Val was pissed and he's like, "Oh, like it's bullshit that I was on the fucking prelims. Like I should have been on the main card."
You know, I said he was right.
And Dana White said that he was fucking 100% right. So, yeah, dude, like I said, it was a fucking killer fucking knee against a really game opponent. It was a really good back and forth fight up until that point, and he fucking put him out with that knee and then followed up with strikes. That was a tremendous performance by fucking Royval. In terms of where he's now in the rankings, if I can find Royval, he didn't move at all. I mean, fucking, and it's interesting because he had that fight with Kai Kara France. But I mean, you know, he's up there, truth be told. So I mean, fuck. I mean, I kind of want to see him in Pantoja, even though Pantoja, if I'm not mistaken, is going to be facing Moreno. They did make that fight official, I believe, for International Fight Week. So yeah. I would love to see that. Royval's kind of in a holding pattern. I mean, Figueiredo, if I'm not mistaken, is moving to 35, if I recall that correctly, right?
Yeah, Figgy is moving to 35.
He's moving to 35. So I mean, in theory, I mean, you could run back him and Kai Kara France and see where that goes. But I mean, shit, you know, fuck, I don't know. Kind of. You know something? They did. Royval and Pantoja did face, and Pantoja did win. So that makes sense. And I didn't realize that Moreno had faced Royval before he won the title, and he knocked him out with a second to go in the first round. Oh shit! And he did beat Kai Kara France. So, I mean, he's kind of the same thing in terms of that we discussed previously in terms of the holding pattern. Like he's already faced the top 5 and had different results. But I mean, you know, I don't know. It's kind of in limbo from that perspective. So I just wanted to bring that up.
But that's definitely a good knockout, bro.
It was a good knockout. Definitely worth your time. The big talking point, and I actually was a tiny bit emotional seeing it, was Zach Cummings and Ed Herman. That was a fucking battle of two grizzled veterans. That was did that not win like fight of the night or anything?
It didn't. But I remember, you know what it reminded me of was Spencer, what's his face versus I can't remember his name. Fuck it. There was Spencer Fisher. Spencer Fisher versus and he had a fucking, there was another fighter that he had like, it was they had like three back and forths. It was incredible. And they both did the same thing where they retired at the end of their fights too. But
no, but it was a phenomenal fight. Fucking Zach Cummings kept hitting him blow after blow, he scored 4 knockdowns in the fight. Oh no, sorry, 5 technically. Well, did he get knocked down on the knockout? I don't think, no, he didn't get knocked down on the knockout, but he scored 4 knockdowns in the fight. He got hit with 2 up kicks in the grounded position. Ed Herman lost the point, but throughout that fight, Zach Cummings 1000% leaned on his hometown crowd. He is from Kansas City, and he used all that energy and expelled it all on Ed Herman. Ed Herman, the grizzled veteran, the 4th oldest fighter in the UFC, been around since Ultimate Fighter like 2 or 3 or something, if I recall correctly. Like somewhere around,
not that old, but yeah.
Oh, I think it's somewhere in that vicinity, believe it or not. But
not 2 or 3.
Maybe, but
he's like a 40s, 50s guy.
I don't know. But in any case, still grizzled veteran. But he was not in that fight really whatsoever. He hit Cummins with a couple shots. He definitely earned some respect from that regard, you could say. But Zach Cummins was in there fucking full speed ahead, fucking knocked fucking Ed Herman multiple times down, knocked him loopy, and then finished him up with a beautiful, beautiful knockout combination strike. And then they both fucking retired very fucking tearfully. And that was a very, very wonderful moment. I think that was one of the highlights of the night, truth be told, is that retirement speech.
I think it's the highlight of the week for a lot of for a lot of MMA stuff. Yeah. I mean, dude. Ed Herman has looked like this in his last couple fights. Like, like just time to go. You know what I mean?
And he knew, and he fucking did. And man, like I said, Zach Cummins, he's giving his speech and he's trying to hold it together. And then his little daughter comes up and they hug and say, "This is daddy. This is who daddy is. You know, daddy's a fighter." And I was like, fuck, that's emotional. And then fucking Ed Herman just breaking down, just like, I'm retiring. This is it. And he just fucking can't hold it in. And the two guys just fucking dogezaing in the center of the octagon with both their gloves down center.
Fucking Clay Guida, you piece of shit, bro.
You piece of shit for real. I think Dana White would have laughed if that didn't happen. Like this.
I agree. I think that made it worse.
It 1000% made it so much worse. Time and place, buddy. Time and place. But no, this was a highlight that I saw. Like I said, I got a little bit choked up. Didn't cry, but I got a little choked up watching it.
Cried a little bit.
No, I cried watching Susaman a few hours ago.
It's okay.
But no, like I said, it was a very, very good fight. Very, very satisfying conclusion for Zach Cummins. I was like, why does Zach Cummins retire? And I was like, oh, he's from Kansas City. He just knocked out a UFC fucking grizzled veteran that everybody knows has world recognition in some capacity. Ed Herman. It's a good time to go if you're going to go. But, regardless, that was a great highlight from that piece. And then the final piece I wanted to mention in terms of the prelims, if I can go back to the fucking results, was Jillian Robertson and Pierre Rodriguez.
They got performance of the night.
Did they?
Mm-hmm.
Jillian Robertson
one of them. They got one of the performances.
Jillian Robertson looked phenomenal. The highlight team specifically mentioned how she was training a lot on her own, more or less only with Dean Thomas, and she joined an official MMA like academy in Miami, and she looked the best that she's looked in God knows how long. The controversy though came from the finish. She was dominating her for multiple minutes on the ground. Eventually managed to get her in an armbar. It was a deep armbar for sure. And the controversy comes from when Rodriguez looks like she taps initially, and then fucking she retracts the tap. It wasn't a definitive like tap or tap.
Oh no, it was. There's no controversy about it.
I would agree with you, but I'm playing devil's advocate here. Okay. Eventually she rescinds her tap basically and pretends to try, or is in the middle of trying to figure out how to try and get out of this fucking deep ass Ronda Rousey-esque armbar, and freaking Keith Peterson stops the fucking fight. And of course Rodriguez is all pissed off.
Was she getting out of that armbar?
No, she was not, which is why I'm completely fine with that. 100% completely fine with that.
Well, the other thing is though that there's nothing really to be even fine with. It was, she verbally tapped. It's within the rules. It's always been a rule. It's been a rule since the beginning. And it's one of the reasons why the ref is stopped the fight is because she verbally submitted. She's verbally submitted. If you verbally yell out in pain, it's the same as a submission. So she did that.
So let me ask you.
Take that back. And the ref made the right call.
Let me ask you a qualifying question. What's the difference between a verbal, like a scream of pain, versus like a gurgle when you're being choked out?
The ref's discretion, I would say.
So we both agree that the discretion was fine and the submission I believe is valid. I'm sure she'll I
don't think it's the same though. If you hear a gurgle, it's not the same to me. A gurgle is a guy trying to fucking breathe when he's getting.
I feel like a gurgle's worse than a scream.
A gurgle's it sounds worse, but the indication from a scream is indicating pain. I don't like that. Gurgle.
A gurgle doesn't sound much better. Oh,
a gurgle is from some guy trying to breathe while he's getting fucking choked out. I mean, gurgle is pretty normal to hear in a role in a jiu-jitsu mat or something like that, but
I'd kind of disagree from that perspective. I think a gurgle's worse, but
how's it worse? It's not a thing of submission. It's just a side effect of the choke.
I feel like that's like the more life-threatening sound.
That's why I said it definitely sounds worse.
To me, if you hear life-threatening, If there's anything life threatening about the position
But
that
it's
you're
not
in,
actually life threatening. So
well, yeah, assuming the guy's not a piece of shit and holds the fucking hold past the tap.
we're talking about MMA, not murder.
I mean, you know, somewhere in the MMA underground, somebody murdered somebody with a fucking rear naked choke.
Oh, bro, some guy fucking murdered a dude the other day, an Air Force guy. A fucking MMA dude beat the hell out of him in Texas.
Yeah,
literally the other day. So there you go.
Guy, good old Texas.
Sorry about that. Rest in peace, guy. Okay.
Anyway, so that was my 3 highlights from the card, the prelim card.
All right, cool. All right, well, how about I want to, bring in, we're going to do like a new, a little bit of a new segment, you could call it, you know what I mean? But how we're every week we're going to rate that card, you know what I mean? So
rate that card.
Rate that card, you know what I mean? So I give this card
like the
sound effect. I give this card I would say it's about, I'd say it's a 6.5. You know what I mean? I give it about a 6 points on a scale of 1 to 10. And that being the main event definitely delivered. However, I'd say some of the card definitely was a little lackluster. You know what I mean? There wasn't necessarily it didn't have the vibrato of some of the other cards. So for that reason, I'm giving it a 6.5. We'll continue to see the scale as we keep doing this, but that's pretty much my rating, for the card. 6.5. That's not too bad, right?
No, I was gonna give it a 7
stars.
I was gonna give it a 7.
Okay. Wow, you had to one up me by 5, but okay.
What point? No, it was a 7 because, as you said, there was lackluster moments in the card, so it didn't make it like a phenomenal card. But the moments that we talked about throughout this little breakdown, I thought are very noteworthy. A lot of different possibilities in terms of positioning in the rankings and positioning of many of the fighters was significant enough. The main event certainly delivered. There were some very tangible knockouts that we'll be talking about or remembering at least for a little bit. And the crowd I thought was absolutely phenomenal. That Kansas City crowd was really, really on fire. Yeah, the crowd was super good. I think that certainly contributes to the factor, to the grading scale of our rate of card. So Kansas City certainly showed out for that fight. They were loud early. Even as early as fucking the first fight that I caught, which was Bruno Brazil fucking beating what's her face? I'm sorry, Denise Gomez beating Bruno Brazil via tie. She put her on her ass with a fucking right hook. That was a great fucking punch. Yeah. So from that moment on, they were in it to win it. Yeah. I skipped the Lando Venata fight, and I think it's worthy to note that man, what a fall Lando Venata has. He lost unanimous decision, including he had a 10-8 round one of those rounds.
This is the end of his career.
He's gonna end up getting released and go somewhere like fucking PFL. Genuinely, that's not even like a rib. He's gonna end up literally going to like a PFL or
PFL definitely will pick him up.
Yeah, something like that. So, but no, 7.
All right, 7, not too bad. That's not too bad. Yeah, so we'll do that every week. Rate the card. Tell us what your ratings are. Tell us in the comments if you guys agree, if you disagree.
Yeah.
Why you disagree, why you don't. If you just hate us, that's cool. But
I love PFL.
No, I know. Whoever is out there, you're not subscribed to this. But anyway, all right, let's move on. We got another fight night coming up this weekend. Main event. We'll go ahead and do a pick 'em. We'll start at the main event. Sergey Pavlovich, he's a problem, versus Curtis Blades. This is actually a really intriguing matchup because Pavlovich has the wrestling credentials and from what we've seen to deal with Blades' wrestling as well. I just don't know. We're really going to see that Russian sambo base versus American wrestling right here. This is not
the greatest example of that combination.
I think though this is going to turn into a slugfest though because of that. I really do. I definitely could see this being a slugfest. With Pavlovich coming out on top. I think it's just his time. And so I'm going Pavlovich by KO. I think he's going to knock out Blades.
Have no quarrels with that observation. I agree.
Okay. Your same pick?
Yes, sir.
KO. All right. Moving on.
Around.
Second or third? Second.
Same.
Yeah, that's his second or third.
Same. I'm
I
going
mean,
second
it's an
too.
easy pick, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm the exact same, dude. Nope.
Okay, co-main event. It's a middleweight bout. Brad Tavares versus Bruno Silva.
That'll be fun.
That's a great fight. Bruno Silva's a killer.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly, I got Bruno Silva by KO, to be honest. Because Brad Tavares looks good, man, but he's not on that level. He's just not.
He's not on the level, but Brad Tavares has tenacity. He has like
He's
grit,
good wrestling too,
and he's a good wrestler. I'm going Brad Tavares decision.
Nice. Okay. Next fight in the lightweight division is Bobby Green versus Jared Gordon.
Your boy.
You already know where I'm going with the king. Yeah, I can't wait to see this fight. Jared Gordon is an up and comer. He's also doing really good. He has exciting fights. I think this is a great fight for Bobby Green, though, to be honest with you. I think we're gonna see some shoulder rolling and some fucking some shuffling.
Yeah.
And I see Bobby Green unanimous decision.
I'm going Jared Gordon simply because of the fact that he really wants that fucking Patty fight again. And I have all the confidence in the world that he would beat Patty. I want Jared Gordon to beat Patty. I'm going Jared Gordon.
Yeah, except he didn't.
No shit, I know, and I like Bobby Green. I like him a little less than you do, but I like Bobby Green.
No, I understand.
I agree with your point. I think what's gonna help, and
I think it was that was showed a lot. If he didn't fight Patty, I probably would be more like, man, I don't know. This could be a toss-em. But
you know what?
A lot of things that was shown in that Patty fight that a guy like Bobby Green
could take advantage of.
His team, he is definitely preparing for those things, bro. That guy, they're so smart.
Yeah.
You can't do what he did in the last fight and show that much, I don't think.
He can't.
I mean, I could be wrong, but I think that's what's going to happen.
There are two keys to victory for Jared Gordon. One is going to be how good he wrestles against Bobby Green, because Bobby Green is still a decent wrestler himself. But I think if he can be effective on the ground against Bobby Green, I think that would be a major key. And the second thing for both men, I think, is going to be impactful volume, which is something you don't hear very often, because you can throw with volume, but if you're not really hitting or anything, especially with, as you mentioned, the Bobby Green shoulder roll is notorious for deflecting shots or evading shots. I think if Jared Gordon can hit him with effective volume where he's landing not critical shots or not damaging shots, but landing enough significant shots that are like clear cut, like, like clear shots to the body, maybe a glancing blow to the head, multiple of those in some capacity. I think that would bode well for him in terms of him trying to get that victory. So impactful volume.
Yep. We'll see. All right, moving on. Next bout is the women's flyweight division. Isman Lucendo versus Brogan Walker. Brogan Walker sounds like the love child of Joe Rogan and somebody. Some.
Bro, that sounds like the love child of Brokeback Mountain.
Yeah, Brogan Walker. That's such a fucking funny name. But anyway, I don't know who's gonna win this fight. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't know who either one of these ladies is. I'm gonna go ahead and pick Lucendo, because she's from Brazil. So I'm just gonna go ahead and assume she's better. And it's because she's from Brazil. This Brogan Walker says she's from Guam. So
she's clearly the daughter of American soldier.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's clearly fucking is an American soldier who stayed in Guam or something. I don't know.
Fucking.
I don't know what happened, but yeah. So we'll see.
It's a nice island.
I hear, I hear it's a nice island. There's a lot of writings about it during the 1940s. Okay, moving on.
I didn't even give my pick. The fuck, you gonna move on without me giving a pick?
Oh, you didn't give a pick? I'm sorry. That's how much I didn't even. Yeah.
Brogan Walker.
You pick? Okay. Just cause she's from Guam.
Just cause.
All right, going with America. I like it. America. All right, moving on. Welterweight bout. Jeremiah Wells versus Matthew Schimmelberger. How would you say that dude's last name? You're not from the United States. Oh, you are from the United States. Okay. I'm gonna go with Jeremiah Wells by KO. Violently, because that dude is violent as all get out. And Matthew Schmelzberger, I can't say his last name. So Jeremiah Wells.
It's Semmelsberger. First off. And I'm going Jeremiah Wells.
KO?
Probably.
Cool.
Emmelsberger sounds like a wrestler, so
It does. It does. We'll see the prelims when we see him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. All right. Well, that wraps up the pick'ems. We'll break down that card next week, guys. But yeah, that's pretty much. I think the big fight to watch on that, the most entertaining fight is going to be Bobby Green versus Jared Gordon. I'm gonna go ahead and call it right now. Pavlovich versus Blades.
Where is this? Apex. Makes sense. This is an Apex type of fight.
Damn it, that sucks. Well, yeah, Apex fight.
Curtis Blades in the main event.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, you know what? That main event could be a real fucking stinker. Let's be honest here. That could be a real fucking lay and pray.
It's either it's literally gonna be a slugfest or a shitter.
It's gonna be a shitter. I think it's gonna be a shitter or a slugfest.
The over under on shitter. Andy's taking the over on shitter.
I'm taking the over on shitter. I think it's gonna be a shitter. Yeah.
I'll take the under on shitter just for shits and giggles.
Watch this card completely fucking stink.
Rate your card 2. It's not a 1 because it actually happened.
It actually happened.
It didn't get canceled.
All right. Well, let's go ahead.
I know. Before I just made that joke about the cancel. Yeah. Nobody ever mentions that John Jones is the only major pay-per-view fighter to ever have a UFC card canceled because of his indesire to take a fight.
He is. Dana White will tell you about it.
100%. No one ever brings that up as a stain on John Jones' record.
And ask him whose fault it is. And you won't. And it's not John Jones. It's fucking Greg Jackson, that piece of shit. Dude, he went on a fucking tirade. Him and Greg Jackson were done after that, bro. He was just like, he's like, yo, he went and called him for Tito, bro. He's just like, hey, I was letting you guys know I'm about to shit on Greg Jackson. I don't give a fuck anymore. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
All right, Dana. Dana, just calm down. Nope. Doing it. Bye.
Full send.
Full send. How many conversations was like that where he called Frank? He's just like, hey, Frank, I don't give a fuck anymore, dude. I'm doing it. Now, Dana, take
a moment. Click.
Dana, take a moment. Just going. Like, God damn it.
Hey, Lorenzo, I'm thinking about starting a slap league. What do you think, Dana? I don't think that's a click. Fuck it, we're doing it. Click.
Nope. That happened because there is no Lorenzo anymore.
I was gonna say he fucking when Ari Emanuel bought it. He's like, so Lorenzo, tell me about your experiences with Dana. Good luck, brother. Click.
Yeah, he's just like, he's a great friend, love him. See you. I'll send you a card of Christmas. All right, have a good one. Thanks. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, that was it. All right, well, time for a little bit of news, man. We're going.
Ooh.
Coming at you. All right, cool. Big news this week. Charles Olivera is moving out. He's withdrawn from the Benil Dariush fight, and that's a fucking bummer because that was going to be a huge fight.
We talked about it last week about how we were looking forward to that fight.
And that's why I brought it up. I mean, it was such a big deal. It's an undisclosed injury. He says it's a small injury, so maybe it'll just put the fight.
They're going to reschedule it.
Yeah, they're going to reschedule it. Hopefully, it'll just be like.
Dariush wanted to stay on the card, and
that's the problem. I think the problem is that if the injury, we'll know more probably tomorrow, but if the injury is to the point to where it's going to be more than a month, I think they're going to just give Dariush a different fight.
Well, they had mentioned that they wanted to keep one. They said they wanted to keep him on the card. There was one fighter that came out that said Dariush agreed to fight him, but the UFC declined that fight.
I just don't understand.
You know who that is, right?
Who?
Sarukian. Yeah, Sarukian offered the fight. Dariush accepted the fight. UFC said, "Nah, we're good, bro."
Yeah, they ain't trying to do that.
No. So, I mean, who's left? I don't think. I mean, really? Nobody really.
Dariush should stay put and hold on for the title shot.
This is where, and it's always
for Olivera.
It's always 55.
Why?
It's always 55 with these fucking squatters. And Dariush actually has a reason to squat. But all these fucking fighters.
It's not just 55. It's every fucking division.
Especially 55.
It's every division that's fucking ranking system is just made the fuck up based off of whoever they want to put in the title. So that's every division. It's every division.
It happens especially with 55, I think.
It does happen. I think, yeah, I agree with you. It happens especially with 55.
Especially at 55, dude.
55 is getting old.
Yeah, well, I mean, Makhachev is the fresh blood, but I mean, and Charlie Olives is like that fucking that
Olives
great
is
help that
old.
we had.
He's
But
old.
oh,
He's
well, you mean
really
you're talking about the ages of people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
but I
talking
mean,
about
Gaethje said he wants one more crack of the belt. He's gonna have like only a couple more
ages
fights
and
and he's
also
done.
careers. Like
Dariush,
at the end of the
said he's
road.
up there. Chandler's up there. Obviously, the youngest fighter is Fiziev. Fiziev, Gamrot, Sarukian are going to be the next gen, along with Makhachev in that division. Assuming Makhachev doesn't go to 170. You know what I mean? So it's up to those three guys that I just mentioned to put something together, find that spark, and fucking start taking out these guys that are 1 through fucking 5, basically.
Yeah.
Once you're able to find that spark, knock off a couple of those fucking greats, because they're all greats. They're all lightweight greats. You know what I mean? They're going to go down as UFC lightweight greats, especially for all that they've accomplished. Maybe not so Michael Chandler because he's still relatively like fresh in terms of him coming over from Bellator. But I mean, just in terms of what he's done so far, certainly great worthy, I would say. So if you can knock off 1 or 2 of those greats, if you're one of those 3 men, then you're fucking set. And I think out of all the guys that the 3 guys that I mentioned, Sarukian, Gamro, and Fiziev, I definitely think that fucking either Sarukian or Fiziev, and I would probably lean a little bit more towards Sarukian. I think,
yeah,
that would be my pick in terms of the 3 guys that bust out from that second tier and try and make it into that 5 and eventually make it up to the title.
Yep. Okay. Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz was made official this week. Big fucking news. Jake's going back to the old drawing board there. He got himself slapped by a real boxer and went, oh.
He's like, all right, let's fight an old MMA fighter.
Let's fight. Yeah, let's get us an old retired dog in here.
Hey, but I'll tell you what, he got the most marketable dog of the bunch.
I think it's I'm really happy for Diaz. I think he's going to make a ton of money on the fight. I'm glad to see it. I think he'll take the fight and then probably come back to the UFC or go back to MMA.
Yep.
I don't know if he's going to win, but I don't think it matters.
I don't think he's going to win.
I don't think that Jake is going to be able to shut his lights off. And I definitely don't think Jake is going to be able to look super impressive. I think Jake's going to barely get it done against Nate.
I agree with you.
He's going to look exhausted doing it because Nate's going to not stop moving.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's ever, everybody's saying, well, look what he did against Anderson Silva. Stop. Quit with the fucking math. All right. Stop it. Yeah. It doesn't fucking matter. What he did against Silva is Nate Diaz doesn't fight, never has trained, doesn't even look like Anderson Silva.
No,
nothing close.
He's got good He's got good MMA boxing
from hell.
He's got good MMA boxing, and
he's got it, but he's got a jab, bro. And I don't think
that's always the biggest key.
With the fucking jab.
The biggest key is always the jab.
For fucking what's his face who he just fought, except for fucking Tommy Fury, who had a good jab.
Yeah.
So I want to, and look, people want to, and look, you go back and look at the first and second fight. Nate stunned fucking Conor with his jab twice.
Yeah.
Dropped him with it in the first fight, dude.
Yeah.
So I do think that no one's talking about that. It's a very underrated.
I'm in the middle.
That fucking jab.
I agree with your point. I have nothing against it. I'm in the middle where I agree that Jake Paul won't look overly impressive, but at the same time, I don't think he's going to barely get it done. I think it's an 8-round fight. I have him winning maybe 6 rounds of 3. Or I'm sorry, that's 9 rounds. What the fuck am I saying? I have him winning 5 rounds.
I was going to say, your math is really...
Yeah, that was bad. I'm not good at math. I've always admitted I'm bad with math. I have him winning 5 rounds of 3.
All right. I can see something like that, I guess. Although I also could see, like, dude, if Nate comes out and just fucking whoops on him, it would be so awesome. I hope
I think everybody and their mother is praying for that. Everyone and their mother is praying for that. 100%. Yeah. I think,
but that's every Jake Paul fight.
I'll give you the biggest key, other than his jab, for Nate Diaz to win this fight, is to get acclimated to the boxing ring. He needs to get 100% acclimated.
Trains in a boxing ring. I don't think it's gonna be a problem. He doesn't actually train in a cage.
Oh, I didn't realize that. I didn't know that.
He's never trained in a cage. I don't think anyone, but if you you don't understand how dedicated to the sport of boxing both of the brothers are. Like, they literally don't train grappling and boxing together. They don't.
No, it's separate.
It's separate.
They're both Gracie black belts.
Both of them, right? And both of them, but I mean, if you look at the majority of their fights, all of their experience is on the fucking feet. I mean, they've got minutes, mere a minute or two on the ground, but beneath the both.
Well, they
of
also
them
have really good submission wins, though. They really have, especially Nate.
They both have high level submission wins.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Over high caliber guys. I mean, dude,
Yeah, they're not
Nate's fucking
slouches.
beating Gamburian back in the day. And then Nick beating fucking his cousin, his trainer, basically, Carl Parisian. I mean, bro, that was fucking so impressive. That was absolutely insane. So
Boy,
yeah,
those are names from the past, boy.
I can bring them up sometimes, huh? I bring up them ghosts, them MMA ghosts.
Bro, I haven't heard those names in years.
Yeah. But
Parisian. God damn.
well, that's like Alexander Hamilton earlier too. Like, dude,
Yeah.
probably old MMA heads know who that is, but
bro, deep cuts from Andy.
deep cuts.
Deep
But
cuts,
yeah,
no fucking elbows.
no elbows. Yeah, no, especially if you're in Strike Force, or Early Pride. So yeah, interesting. But yeah, that about sums up our week, man. There's a lot going on.
I mentioned a couple fight announcements, like I said, with Pantoja and Moreno, and then Simone and Yadong. So those are also, like I said, formally finalized. One thing I did think of something just now. I want to get your thoughts. John Jones and Stipe, right? John Jones is saying basically that he wants to wait till November to fight at MSG, and if he fights at MSG, he wants to make that a retirement fight. He's like, I could think of no better like retirement fight than beating Stipe for the belt in my hometown. And Stipe's like, oh, talking the shit, like, you're not gonna beat me, blah blah blah. Typical Stipe, like, little bit of banter, basically. But
I'm a lot better than the guy,
yeah. But the principle of John Jones retiring, it potentially his final fight being at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, great. Good, I don't know. I don't know why he would retire right now. But
he beat Gon. Stipe's next. I mean, fuck. You know who I wish was back already and had like a really significant win? He's stagnant in his ranking because of that.
It would just be weird if he.
You know what I'm gonna say?
Retired now.
You know what I'm gonna say?
Who?
Tom Aspinall.
Oh yeah.
People forget about Tom Aspinall. I love Tom Aspinall.
Yeah.
And it's a shame because he's still recovering from his blown knee.
He doesn't have anything for John, though.
You don't think so?
No, I don't.
If Tom Aspinall can go in, I think his biggest test would be him against Gon. If Tom Aspinall, I don't think
anybody has anything for John Jones in that division, dude.
It was supposed to be Gon, and he handled him so fucking.
That answered a lot.
We missed the podcast on that because of our
but that answered a lot of questions.
It did, dude.
Cemented John Jones into the like legendary like GSP status, and
Anderson
then
Silva statuses,
Anderson Silva status, and then that's why when you say like him retiring, I'm just like,
he's got nothing to
react to that because
other than make money. All he's gonna do is make money off these guys.
I'm like, why? You're gonna go up there, you could just, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it's one of those things where if he goes up and he beats Stipe, wins the belt, and he's like, all right, guys, I'm retiring, I'm the greatest of all time. It's like, okay, whatever. You are. I'm so disinterested in him as a fighter. I don't give a fuck almost. You know what I mean? Like that's where I just, he interests me just almost to no level. Like, John Jones is fighting this weekend. Okay. All right.
It's still must watch fucking TV.
Not to me.
I disagree, but I respect your point.
I mean, it's not because of whatever. It's just, it's the heavyweight division in itself, especially you like what you just told me. I'm even less interested now. Like, he's going to retire. Like, okay. So,
I mean, the only thing you could think of is fucking.
So you're going to grab the belt. You're going to fucking grab the belt. You're going to inject yourself in the division, grab the belt, and then fucking retire. Yeah. And send the already train wreck of a division that the situation Ngannou happened even more.
You're basically gonna put if John Jones retires, then the easy fight to make. Assuming Pavlovich, well, basically it would be the winner. It would be the winner of Pavlovich Blades versus fucking basically Gon. In essence, would be that fight, and you already know the winner of Pavlovich Blades is gonna call for the title shot.
Yeah,
you know that at the end of the night, the winner of that fight on the mic is gonna say, "I want John Jones. I think I could beat John Jones." And neither of them are probably going to get that fight. I think if Blades wins dominatingly, I think Blades has a shot to get that. He's got the outside shot.
Fighting John Jones, no. Nah. Maybe. I don't know. I don't think John Jones would take that fight because Blades honestly might give him a little bit of trouble with the wrestling.
It would be. It would be. I mean, he wouldn't have faced wrestling of that caliber since Chael Sonnen.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that gave him a little bit of complications.
Not really.
Tiny bit.
Tiny bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that pretty much wraps it up. Yeah. Like I said, next week we'll break down the Pavlovich versus Blades card. We'll preview the next pay-per-view. And I'm sure there'll be a shit ton of stuff that happens between now and then. Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch. Give us a goog anywhere you get your podcasts. MMA for Marks. We're there. We're on SoundCloud, even. Whoever
We're not on SoundCloud.
We're not on Soundcloud. Okay, we're
no,
not on SoundCloud.
We do not go to SoundCloud, sir.
We're not on SoundCloud, but we could be. Okay. Yeah, and follow me at MMA for Marks on Instagram, on Twitter, anywhere there is. Right here. Wow, I actually got it right. It's the first time
you did get it right. Congrats.
First time, dude.
I was fucking. I see. I did it the fucking left.
But give us your plug of Rudy's there.
Yeah, let me do it the proper way. Shout out to Sean with W2M Network. Thank you so much for hosting us. Thank you so much for editing our podcast. You can follow, as Andy said himself, on MMA number 4 Marks, specifically on Instagram. And you have a Twitter? I didn't know you had a Twitter.
Yeah, we have a Twitter.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yep.
Why don't I have access to that?
Good job. Why don't you have access to that? You should.
You haven't given me the password, I guess, because I don't fucking have it.
My bad.
I go on Twitter for porn. I might as well go on Twitter for something useful, like fucking MMA for Marks, right?
I go on Twitter for MMA all the time.
I just use it for. I mean, it's funny. Like literally, I'll go through my scroll, and it's just like pussy, dick, fucking pussy. Survey Pavlovich says something about Curtis Blades.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this sick DDT from Japan. Oh, look at this cute model. Look at this Japanese girl sucking dick. Let's look. Yeah, it's just I can't open my Twitter in fucking public.
It's just porn and MMA. Perfect for you.
It's porn.
You probably don't even stop. You probably don't even stop when you're going, like while you're scrolling. You're probably like, I just keep it.
No, I do. It depends. It depends on what
sure
I read.
You do.
So I mostly stop when I see the fucking like, damn, that's a big ass dick going in that tiny ass pussy. Fuck.
No, I bet you stop when you see like, wow, there's that Barbosa. He's so jacked. Oh my god.
I did, bro. But looking at that, like I said, that, I was like, he's fucking, bro. Like the fucking shoulder fibers. I remember that distinctly.
Like a man.
The shoulder fibers on fucking Edson Barbosa were insane.
That's when you win, huh? You're like, oh, the fibers,
bro. Anyway, let me finish the rest of the plugs. You can follow me on Twitter at SHOSTOPPA24. You can follow me on my podcast Instagram at podcast.senpai.
Hey.
And as Andy said, we have our MMA for Marks page. Follow on Facebook. Follow us on there. Again, as Andy said, you can catch us on wherever you get your local podcasts: Apple, Spotify, iHeart, Amazon, wherever you listen to us. As Andy said, just give us a Google. You'll find us there. You can catch the live versions of our shows on YouTube and Twitch by looking up the W2M Network or looking up MMA for Marks. You'll find us there. Again, shout out to W2M Network one more time for plenty of their catalog. Shout out to my boy Matt. Yep, double shout out. Shout out to my boy Matt with the Talk to Kiki podcast. We will be back Thursday this time around to preview the spring season, and my God, is it a fucking doozy. We'll also be previewing Susume as well. Or not previewing, I should say, reviewing Susume, and goddamn, I cannot wait to talk about that. And I think that's it.
Catch you next week.
Bye, you fucking dossers.
If there's one thing I know for sure, it's that I know nothing.